Good afternoon, everybody. Urav Desai here with the tropical weather update for Wednesday, October 24th, 2018. And taking a look at the tropics today for both the Atlantic and the East Pacific Basin, you can see that it is mostly quiet now, as Hurricane Willop was a major hurricane. Did make landfall as a Category 3, brought some pretty devastating effects to the western Mexican coastline, but now it has moved well inland. It is now just a remnant low, but it is still bringing some pretty heavy rain showers to areas of the south, especially in areas of Texas. And if we look at the Atlantic at the moment, it is relatively quiet. However, we do have one area, one disturbance, with a 60% chance of development, a medium chance within the next 5 days. And this has been now designated as Invest 95L. It's going to be moving pretty slowly to the north and to the west over the next few days, as conditions are expected to become slightly more favorable for development over the next few days, and we could see a development of a tropical or a subtropical cyclone. And now looking at currently at Invest 95L, you can see that center circulation is right about in here in this little swirl. You can see if you look closely on the radar. And also you can see though that the clouds are all well away from the center right now, so it's a very disorganized system, as it is currently in a high shear environment. It is right around this area of about 30 to 40 knots of wind shear, which is very unfavorable for tropical cyclone development. But conditions are expected to become more favorable towards the end of this week, and that's when we could see a subtropical or possibly a fully tropical cyclone forming. And now looking at where it's going to be going over the next few days, you can see that it is forecast to move pretty much due north or slightly northeast over the next 48 to 72 hours, and then expected to make a sharp turn towards the west, and then actually expected to make another sharp turn towards the north and then off to the east. And it doesn't look like it's going to be impacting any land masses, which is definitely some great news. And also looking at the intensity, is forecast to be, even if it does develop, it's probably going to be a pretty weak storm. Most of the models, almost all the models, only have peaking at moderate tropical storm strength at best, and only one model really has approaching hurricane strength. So it's not really going to be a threat to anybody. And so that's some great news, definitely, as we've had enough threats this hurricane season for both the East Pacific and the Atlantic basins. And now looking at the European model over the next few days to see what it does show. Besides 95L, it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing any development at all. And as you can see, it does keep 95L weak. It does have it moving north and then west, but it does keep it weak. And then eventually it does dissipate and gets kicked out to sea because of a trough around day 6 to 7 next Tuesday into next Wednesday. And you can see also on the upper air pattern, you can see that trough does form next weekend, as we do have that nor'easter threat, which I'll talk about later in the northeast. And then that is going to kick whatever's left of 95L, even if it is still a tropical cyclone or even a hurricane at that moment, is going to be likely getting kicked out to sea by that point. And looking at the GFS model, the GFS shows a similar situation. It does show a stronger storm than the European, though. It does have getting to 996 millbar. That would probably be a pretty strong tropical storm. But then again, it does have it dissipating by day 5, and then by day 6 is basically completely gone. So this thing's not going to be lasting very long, and it's going to be remaining relatively weak and far away from any land masses. And now looking at what's going on in the U.S. right now, you can see we do have this very heavy rain storm right now impacting areas of Oklahoma and in the other places north in the plains and areas of South Texas and Central Texas. And you can see that this is also associated with some of the remnants of Hurricane Willa. And if we look at the GFS model now for the Northeast region, that moisture is going to start heading north and east, and it is going to form into a possible nor'easter, but it does look like the nor'easter is going to be staying weak. However, it is going to still be bringing some fairly heavy rain and some fairly gusty winds to the northeast and mid-Atlantic region, and also areas of New England. And areas further north into Maine and New Hampshire could be seeing a wintry mix or maybe even some straight-up snow. So there is the wintry threat with this system as well for areas further north. But then that does start to move out into Sunday, and then Monday it does look relatively clear, though we do have another chance for some showers in the mid-Atlantic region for areas further south. And now looking at the total rainfall prediction from the GFS, you can see that the most rainfall is going to be around the coastal areas in Long Island and in South Jersey, you could be seeing 2 to 3 inches. Maybe areas of even 4 inches for places of eastern Massachusetts and areas of Rhode Island near the coast. And now looking at the NAM model, looking at the wind speed forecast, you can see it is forecast to be a pretty blustery day, as well as we do have some wind speeds, probably maybe approaching 30 to 40 knots, near tropical storm strength for the coastal regions. It's going to be pretty windy Saturday and a rainy Saturday too. It's not going to be a great day at all, especially for areas near the shore. And now looking at the radar rather for the NAM model, if I do pull that up, you can see that this thing is going to start approaching the area late Friday night. Probably the rain will probably be starting in the Mid-Atlantic region, areas of Virginia and the DC region around Friday afternoon. And then it does start to move further east, and the rain does start entering Jersey into New York City around Saturday night, around 8 to 9 p.m. most likely, or Friday night rather. And then it does continue to rain for several hours. Then it does start to pull away, however, late Saturday night into early Sunday morning. And now looking at the temperatures across the region, you can see that today yesterday was a pretty mild day. Today is much of the same. It's mostly 50s throughout the region. And if I do look at the current run, rather, you can see that tomorrow is going to be mostly 40s and 50s, pretty chilly day. And then Friday, it's going to be a little bit warmer, maybe mid to upper 50s, peaking. And then Saturday, it's going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be only 30s for much of upstate New York and areas of northern PA, but it will be very warm down south, areas of 60s in South Jersey and in the Mid-Atlantic region. And then Sunday, it does stay a little bit cooler though. But then Monday, we do have things starting to slightly warm up. But then Tuesday, it does look cooler. Once again, back to 30s and 40s for much of the region. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.